The Railway to Kakia, 9211. By
Part-Time Tales.
It was nearly noon before the young couple decided to descend for their great adventure into the heart of Mumbai. Their host, a 40-something Indian woman named Kareema, was laying out freshly prepared food. The two came stumbling down the stairs, giggling, lightly poking and pushing each other. Kareema looked up and smiled at the sight of her guests having such a good time. "Oh, Mr. Noah, just in time for lunch," Kareema said. Noah stopped abruptly, standing up straight at the bottom of the stairs, holding Kara's hand. Like native food?" he said, gulping. Kareema smiled, nodding her head. "Yes, it's aloo gobi, a dish very well known here." Noah, never truly partial to foreign food, began to speak. "We were thinking of getting something while we were out." Quickly, Kara jabbed him in the side with her elbow. "We'd love some authentic Indian cuisine, isn't that right, Noah?" Jolted from the sharp reminder in his side, Noah turned to Kara, catching her eye, and quickly realized this was not an argument he was going to win. Smiling, he turned back to their host and said, "Of course, I'd love some kegu." Kareema playfully smiled, gesturing toward the food and the empty seats around the wooden table in the center of the room. "Aloo gobi, and it's delicious, I assure you." Kara, always eager to try new things, rushed toward the table to take a seat. Noah smiled hesitantly and started toward the table. After the two sat down, Kareema joined them at the side of the table, leaving the seat of honor. Noah looked puzzled. "Oh, you're going to join us? I mean, that's totally cool. Just wasn't expecting it." Kareema smiled, nodding her head. "Yes, it's very common for a host to dine with their guests here." Kara, worried that her boyfriend might accidentally offend this very sweet woman and that they would have to find another place to stay, quickly interjected. "Of course!" she shouted out, lightly kicking Noah's leg under the table. Noah jolted forward, instinctively reciting what could only be described as a pre-written script his girlfriend had activated in his head. "Oh no, that makes perfect sense. And you are more than welcome. Let's enjoy this gabagu together." Kareema playfully giggled. "It's aloo gobi, and no worries." Kara, unsure if their host was offended or not, decided to take a forkful of the food in front of her and plunge it into her mouth. Kareema smiled, seeing the reaction of sheer delight on Kara's face. "It's good, isn't it?" Kara nodded her head, absolutely consumed by the delicious flavor. Kareema then turned her attention to Noah, who smiled and then reluctantly stuck his fork into the yellow dish in front of him. Slowly, he raised the gooey cauliflower to his mouth and placed it in almost as if afraid of being poisoned. As the savory morsel went into his mouth, the look of absolute shock covered his face as he discovered he absolutely loved Indian food. "Oh my god, this is freaking amazing," he said with a full mouth. Kara kicked his leg again. Noah jolted, blurting out a quick reaction and a little bit of food. "Sorry." Kareema slightly crunched her face, visibly annoyed with this behavior. "It's okay, just enjoy." She put her fork into the steaming dish in front of her and began to eat with very poised manners. An awkward silence took over the room as the three sat eating. Kara hated this kind of environment, especially knowing that her boyfriend had caused it. Her eyes started scanning the place, looking for some conversation piece when she noticed that a plate had been set at the head of the table, but no one was occupying the chair. Making sure her mouth was free of food and taking a sip of the cool, sweet drink, she gestured toward the end of the table. "Hey, Kareema, is your husband joining us?" The host turned toward the empty plate and back to Kara, sadness creeping over her face. "No, my husband died some time ago." Kara gasped, fearing that she had tripled the awkwardness in the room. "I'm so sorry." Kareema quickly interjected with sincere politeness in her voice. "No, it's okay. It was a car accident many years ago. That's actually why I converted our home into an Airbnb. The money helps us keep up the place and care for my mother." A long pause entered the room as the couple tried to piece together the dots from their very reluctant host, who wasn't overly fond of the subject matter. Kareema moved her eyes back and forth between the two, puzzled that they hadn't figured it out yet. Finally, relenting and being as polite as possible, she said, "The plate is for my mother." The two of them suddenly struck, as if an epiphany hit them both, replied at the same time. "Oh." Kareema laughed. "She's laying down in the other room, not feeling well." Finally, the tension had been broken, and not a minute too soon as the three of them finished their meals. The couple sat at the table, unsure what to do next, as eating and running was always considered rude in the States. Kareema had taken the dishes to the kitchen as they awkwardly stared at each other. Noah, struck with realization, quickly leaned into his girlfriend and began to whisper. "Hey, you know what I just thought of?" Cara, feeling extremely annoyed about his behavior earlier, clapped back in a sharp whispering tone. "I don't know, something stupid that's going to offend our host and get us kicked out of here?" Noah, looking visibly annoyed, twinkled his eyes and replied back. "No, the first rule of ghost hunting when you travel to a new place." Kara's eyes lit up, almost impressed at her boyfriend's brilliant idea. They both whispered it at the same time to each other. "Ask the locals."